Well, hi. Right after the collapse of the dot-com industry in 1998, the editor of the Ventura County Star asked me if I wouldn't work with their sports reporter to basically start a new golf website. Naturally, since golf was the industry that I had worked in, building the robot, it certainly was an easy decision for me to make. And the new web designer had asked me to let's go out and get some advertising dollars for this. Well, this was a time right after 9/11 where it was real difficult to get anybody to commit cash to something. And knowing the general manager up at Sterling Hills, basically we worked out some arrangements where he said, if I could give you discount tickets, zero tickets, okay, for golf for two, Monday through Thursday, including a cart, could that take up for the advertising dollars? And I said, I don't know how we do that, but let me talk to the people at the Ventura County Star. The web developer, he told me about a new software program that basically allowed auctioning of these coupons if we can get them. Well, it started really, really good. I mean, we ran once a month for a whole week auctions for all the gift certificates, and it was amazing. But we were into the $30,000-$40,000 a month in terms of dollars in advertising. However, like most things, Ben Franklin was wrong. There's more than the two sureties in life: death, taxes, and that third one is change. And change took place at a web designer for the Ventura County Star who wanted to do it his way and not the way we were doing it. Well, at the same time, I had heard about this guy in Somas who basically was collecting all of the used golf balls from the wells and the water at all the golf courses and storing them in Somas and then sending them to Norway, where they were stripping the cores, taking the outer shells out and using the cores to create brand new range golf balls that they used at the driving ranges. This was at the same time that Titleist came out with their Titleist golf balls, as you could see behind me. We went from $5 a dozen golf balls to $5 a golf ball. Well, I convinced Jim Johnson, one of the three brothers that were in the golf business and who was doing this thing of collecting the golf balls, to set up a situation where we could separate out all of these golf balls that had value to it, because other manufacturers were starting to come out with their new golf balls. Well, at this same time, there was this new thing called eBay that basically was an auction site that I was able to start working with. And in time, within a year, I should say, I became one of the top 200 sellers on eBay. I worked out arrangements with Jim Johnson, okay, and everything was working fine. Went to a couple of summit conferences for the specialty equipment, whatever it was that our organization was forming. And Meg Whitman used to invite me up to eBay twice a year just so that they could talk to the top sellers about how they could improve the whole eBay process. Well, it came a point in 2005 as I was going up to San Jose for one of those meetings. Jim Johnson changed the call-in letters and passwords for our golf ball site. And he told me, My wife can handle this. The whole concept of that meeting up in San Jose was geared, I remember, towards telling us as sellers, think about something that is central in your own community that could be sold to the world. And as I was driving down, all of a sudden it hit me. Every place on the 101 that I saw east and west that I thought to be golf courses in the future, now all of a sudden we're growing grapes for wine. And this was at the same time that Herzog Winery opened up in Oxnard. And when I got home, I started looking on eBay for, how shall I put it, literally wine sales in online. And all of a sudden, I saw a bottle of Marilyn Monroe wine. And I'm going to put some in the background, okay? And my wife had had an art consulting business where somebody gave her that 1987 bottle of Marilyn Merlot. Well, as you can imagine, when I saw the Marilyn Monroe wines up on eBay, I couldn't wait. It took me around 20 minutes to take pictures of my bottle and get it up on eBay. It worked really, really good. I got a couple of bids on it. It was up to over $100 already, a bottle. And I went up to see my daughter Robin the next day. We were going to just have dinner up there. And she, being the entrepreneur, I wanted to show her what it was like. And we went on to eBay, and I couldn't find my auction. I couldn't find my bottle of wine. I got home and I got an email from eBay that I was not a licensed wine seller, and they had to take my bottle down from being in an auction. At the same time, I received an email from the gentleman who was doing the bidding on it, and he offered me $400 for the bottle of wine. I said, man, you've got it. The next day, I called my personal associate at eBay, who suggested to me that I would go to a near retailer that has a wine license to sell wines and talk to him about maybe working together where you can basically be selling the Maryland wines. I worked that out with somebody, got approval, and I started a consignment program because I was so high in the golf ball market with subscribers. Basically, eBay, every time somebody who had a bottle of Marilyn Monroe and put it up for sale, they basically would recommend that, why don't you go to PK2 Bob and he can handle the selling for you. And what we did was started a consignment program. The question is, and now let me explain why Marilyn Monroe wines are so valuable. As you could see, every year behind me, there's a different picture of Marilyn on the bottle. In 1985, the first year of vintage, they basically had a beautiful bottle of wine that was really good tasting. And they only made 400 cases of them. They sold them for $15 or $16 a bottle. Well, there were a lot of people who opened them, but there were some who didn't open them. And today at MarylandWines.com, a bottle of 1985 unopened is valued at $8,000. I, over the years, have developed a collection of in excess of $30,000. I have a bottle of 1986 that's worth $2,750. A bottle of 1989 that's worth $2,700. So all told, everything was going great till the excuse me, recession of 2008. Anytime you hit into a recession, collectibles are something that people don't want to spend their cash on. So for this reason, we had to slow down, and I have not gone back to be selling the Maryland wines on eBay since that time. But it doesn't mean that we're not looking at ways to use our collection to promote something that we're getting started now. Thank you so much for watching this explanation.